You can formulate a life-saving compound in a small beaker. The real challenge is doing it 1,000,000 times over without a single error. That translation from a controlled lab environment to a massive commercial facility relies on a specialized discipline, process engineering. It is the exact science of turning raw materials into reliable medicines at scale. You can't just buy bigger tanks. Every phase of this physical expansion is governed by Good Manufacturing Practice, or GMP. These strict regulations act as an absolute safety net, demanding that every operation is rigorously controlled and validated. The goal here goes beyond producing higher volumes. It is about ensuring absolute consistency. A pill manufactured on Tuesday must be biologically and chemically identical to one made 10 months later. This level of scale requires engineering safety directly into the production of every single dose. To achieve safety, process engineers follow a strict, linear workflow from initial design to final distribution. This diagram maps the precise chronological life cycle of pharmaceutical process engineering. The journey begins with R&D and process design, where engineers map out flow diagrams and select equipment. Then comes scale-up and tech transfer, taking laboratory specifications and translating them into robust, scalable operations. Once a process is running, the focus shifts to optimization. Engineers continuously analyze the data to increase the total yield, reduce cycle times, and strictly minimize chemical waste. But efficiency cannot compromise quality. Through rigorous process validation and automation, engineers confirm that the system meets commercial specifications flawlessly on every run. None of this matters if you cannot prove it. Regulatory bodies require immense documentation for every phase: design, development, optimization, validation, and technology transfer. Every parameter is recorded. Every flow rate is checked. By validating and documenting every step, engineers remove all operational guesswork from the manufacturing floor. At the physical level, a manufacturing plant is broken down into what we call unit operations. These are the fundamental, distinct mechanical steps that make up a continuous production line. These include processes like mixing powders, granulating compounds, drying out moisture, compressing tablets, applying coatings, and sterile filling. To keep these operations efficient, engineers rely on a mathematical reality check known as the material and energy balance. It acts like a perfect scale. By calculating the precise raw material inputs against the finished outputs and expected waste products, an engineer can spot unseen physical losses and ensure the entire system remains economically sustainable. But raw materials don't behave uniformly on their own. They require a rigid control strategy, defining exactly how environmental variables like temperature, pressure, and humidity are continuously monitored and adjusted. It is this specific control strategy that prevents chaotic chemical reactions and enforces highly predictable manufacturing. We no longer rely on physical trial and error to dial in variables. This schematic shows the advanced analytical tools used to predict outcomes. Process Analytical Technology, or PAT, provides real-time data monitoring as products move through the machine. Design of experiments uses statistical models to calculate how pressure, heat, and speed interact, mathematically optimizing the batch. Meanwhile, computational fluid dynamics simulates how liquids mix and air flows through massive industrial dryers. Today, an entire facility can be modeled as a digital twin, a virtual, predictive replica of a physical production line running in parallel with real hardware. We no longer wait for a batch to fail to find out what went wrong. These digital tools transition the industry away from reactive troubleshooting toward predictive models based on real-world data. Software and hardware still require human leadership. The process engineer acts as the central hub, orchestrating these advanced systems. They collaborate heavily across departments, translating R&D chemical formulations, executing quality assurance standards, and directing production floor teams. Day to day, they develop the strict standard operating procedures that govern the plant, serving as the primary problem solvers to troubleshoot any deviations in a batch. Production schedules are inherently tight. The engineer serves as the human firewall, ensuring that regulatory compliance is never compromised by the operational pressure to work faster. Let's apply this theory to a tangible product. This infographic breaks down the physical steps to manufacture a standard tablet. It starts with highly accurate weighing of raw materials, followed by uniform mixing and granulation. Wet granules pass through fluid bed dryers to precisely remove moisture before a machine forms them into tablets under extreme pressure. Finally, a protective coating is applied, and finished tablets are inspected before packaging and distribution. These unit operations are rigidly interlinked. If the granulation step introduces too much moisture, the compression machine will jam, and the entire batch is ruined. Each flawless pill in a blister pack is the physical result of an orchestrated engineering process. To eliminate bottlenecks, the industry is shifting towards continuous manufacturing, a model where production flows constantly without stopping for intermediate batch testing. Alongside speed, there is an aggressive push for green engineering. Modern facilities are prioritizing energy sustainability and designing processes to drastically reduce chemical waste. As processes generate millions of data points, AI and machine learning secure data integrity, guaranteeing that all documentation strictly upholds regulatory Alcoa Plus principles. For professionals entering this space, mastering GMP requirements, executing flawless SOPs, and driving continuous improvement are critical skills. A brilliant chemical discovery cannot cure anyone if it stays in a lab. Process engineering builds the necessary infrastructure, the unbreakable bridge connecting scientific innovation directly to patient safety.